What is up, guys? It is the Sound Alchemist, and today I'm back to give you some lore and insight into the 40k universe. Today we are diving into the in-depth intricacies, which I think that's a synonym, for the Chaos Knights Codex. So today we are looking into the rules, specifically the Chaos Knight households that we will be able to play this weekend. So if you didn't know, now you know that Chaos Knights are a thing. They're getting their own codex, their own rules, and they're getting some really nice models. So gone are the days where you had to kit bash your Chaos Knights by taking spiky bits and putting them on your Imperial Knights. Now they give you a kit where you can create one of two variants of the Chaos Knight, and in my opinion, the pieces that are already there look pretty badass. So no more green stuff, no more going into your bits piles. Now you can actually make these Chaos Knights your own. With Chaos Knights being playable, of course they're gonna have some demonic, some chaotic rules for them, and those are seen in the two households. The Iconoclast household, which gives them a really good bonus. So if you go onto the description of the video, I will post the link to the Warhammer community website so you can take a look at all the details. But for now, let's dive into what this Iconoclast household actually gives to our Chaos Knights. This one says that if this model was charged or did a heroic intervention, you get to add a 1 to the model's attack characteristics until the end of the turn. On top of this, the armor penetration characteristic of melee weapons is improved by 1. So if you have an AP 1, it is now an AP -2, which is really great. And on top of this, you also get an ability where if an enemy unit fails a morale test anywhere within 12 inches of that model, you can force them to make an additional model to basically flee from that unit. So essentially, you're killing another model right off the bat. This, in my opinion, is amazing if you're going for the Khorne aesthetic, if you're pledging yourself to the god of blood and skulls. This is where you need to be. In close combat, killing things, making them lose morale to kill more things. This one is really, really good. I love it. It's great. And then they have a stratagem that further bolsters being in close combat, and that is the Vow of Carnage. This is when the Chaos Knight's pilot has sworn to drown whole planets in the blood of their enemies. Khorne spells it out to you right here. Basically, you choose the stratagem before the battle, and you choose a knight from the Iconoclast house. From here on out, you have to keep a count as to how many models are destroyed from your attacks from that model, and then you add 1 to that attack characteristics for every 10 models destroyed. This can stack up tremendously, especially if you're going up against like a huge infantry type army. For example, if you're going against a swarm of orc boys, you've got swarms of Tyrannid Griblies going at you. This thing is going to kill a bunch, and it's going to add even more and more attacks, thus killing even more things, and the attacks are just going to go up and up and up. On top of this, that model cannot be selected for the Vow of Dominance or the Vow of the Beast Slayer stratagem. Pretty much meaning if you choose this one thing, you've got to stick with this one thing and you can't give them anything else. So again, it focuses you into a certain aspect of combat, and this one, it's literally just attack the enemy, kill. It's as simple as you can get. And again, if you're going for a Khorne theme army, this is all you. And then the last stratagem that I'm going to talk about that applies to the Iconoclast household is the Veil of Medrengard. And this is basically a ion shield that affects you on all sides at all time. Pretty much an invulnerable save for your machine of war. This will basically just help you survive and get to close combat. It's a 4-up invuln save, which isn't the best, but it's not the worst. Again, it'll just help you get to where you need to be, and that is in close combat. And now let's move on to the next household, the Infernal household. This is where things get chaotic. No longer is there a separation between noble and war machine. They two have fused and have become one nasty demonic entity. This thing is all about being possessed by demons, dark modifications, and overall, this thing is just a beast in combat. Let's begin with the Infernal household ambition, the Demonic Surge. This is when the power of the warp courses through the night, and thus it has the power to obliterate all before them. What it does is basically at the start of your movement phase, each model with this can do a demonic surge, and it's basically like a mini chaos boon table. You can either roll and get demonic hunger, which adds an extra 2 inches to your move characteristics and an extra 1 to your advance and charge rolls. You can get the demonic fortitude to bolster your toughness by 1, or you can get demonic power. You choose a ranged weapon and you add 1 to your strength and damage characteristics. This is pretty cool, but at the same time, I feel like it's a little too wishy-washy, because as good as all these things are, you're rolling and you're not gonna know exactly what you get. But in order to use the demonic surge, you suffer a mortal wound. So not only are you damaging yourself, but you're putting it all to fate. The dice gods could betray you. Maybe you needed that extra 2 to your movement and your advance rolls to get into close combat. Maybe you wanted to shoot and you're getting things that aren't really helpful to you. On the other side is you can instead choose to do D3 mortal wounds to yourself to choose what upgrade you get. In my opinion, I would go for this more often than not, because yeah, you're rolling D3 mortal wounds, but you could roll a 1 or a 2 and you get to choose what you want. So I don't know, these things they're great, but at the same time I feel like you're being held back by the warp irregularities, we'll call it. Another really awesome stratagem for this Infernal household is Bind the Souls of the Defeated. I really love this just in the aspect of what it is. So basically, as your machine demolishes things in close combat, it absorbs the souls of its enemies, bolstering its vitality. So what that literally means is, if you're in the fight phase, until that phase is over, anytime an enemy model is destroyed as a result of an attack made with your melee weapon, you have to roll a d6, and on a 4-up, you regain 1 lost wound. And you can only do this up to 6 wounds in a single phase. So knights, they have a ton of wounds. You can keep the fight going while you're in close combat. It's pretty cool, but at the same time you have a 50-50 chance of maybe not getting this off. So as of right now, I'm definitely leaning towards the other household, but in terms of coolness, the Infernal one sounds so much more badass. And that's all that I have time for today. Sorry if you're hearing things in the background. It's raining pretty hard right now. So if you guys want to learn more, there are a few more stratagems and whatnot to check out. So again, go to the description in this video and check out the Warhammer community page, where they've posted so much awesome stuff for the Chaos Knights. And on top of that, we've got more things to cover, because these are just the households. If you know about the Imperial Knights, you don't just have households, you also have free blades, which are basically mercs for hire. You want a noble to pilot this war machine and aid the Space Marines or your Imperial Guard, the free blade is the way to do, as long as you got the moolah. Same thing applies, just chaos versions. You're gonna do another Dark Crusade, a Black Crusade, you say, Abaddon? Give me a Blackstone Fortress and I'll fight for you. That won't happen, but again, you get free blades in a chaos version, which I'm pumped. Again, this has been some really awesome stuff that GW has been putting out, and just the art on these Chaos Knights looks amazing. I'm really loving it. So again, guys, if you're really interested in this, head on over to your GW page and pre-order away. I believe these things go live this weekend, so you can get to your GW store and purchase the box set there. You get a brand spanking new codex. You get a model that you can build one of two variants of the knights, and also you have stratagem cards. So everything you could need and want will be ready this Saturday, I believe. So again, that's all I've got. Let me know what you think down in the comments below, and I'll see you next time. This has been the Sound Alchemist, part of One Mind Syndicate, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow.